Welcome back to Teshkid FX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Polygon Matic, whose current price stands at the $0.86 mark, and here on TradingView the market is up by 2.3%. And in this video I want to give the key scenarios that I expect to play out, basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, also the key areas of resistances and supports. So if you're interested in such content, make sure that you stick around till the end of the video. I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. From the all-time high, Polygon Matic has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC correction, which has now taken us to around the $0.31 mark, and from there we have started seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side. And in that ABC correction, I believe Polygon Matic has done what we expected it to do, and soon we might see this pump to the upper side, having a wave 5 taking us back to an all-time high. And in that movement I have a target area for that wave 1 to the upper side of that Elliot wave between the $1.97 mark and the $1.61 mark, and that I'm basing it on the Fibonacci's. So if I apply the fibs here, connecting that low to the all-time high, you can see that my yellow target for that wave 1 lies between the fib level 0.618 and the fib level 0.5, which is the minimum that I expect that movement to the upper side to do. In that wave 1 to the upper side, I also expect to see a fractal wave information right here, which I believe has started to form, and now we are in a wave 3 to the upper side. So if I jump to the 4-hour chart so that we can see that better. Here on the 4-hour chart, you can see that from the moment we touched that low at around the $0.31 mark, we started seeing higher prices in this movement to the upper side in a wave 1, then saw a retracement in a wave 2, and now what is information I believe is a wave 3, which has reached my target area up here. And if I get into details of these waves, for that wave 1 to the upper side, we did the minimum that I expected it to do, and in its retracement to the upper side, which formed the wave 2, if I use the Fibonacci's so that we can see whether that wave 2 retraced to the minimum that we expect a retracement to do, you can see that that wave 2 retraced to around the fib level 0.382. We overshooted that area on the Fibonacci a little bit, then started seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side, broke above key areas of resistances, even formed chart patterns which indicated that we continue pushing the market to the upper side, and that has been happening. We even broke above this key area of resistance at around the $0.78 mark, and once that movement happened, we pushed up to the upper side to around the $1 mark, which perfectly lies above the key area, the key target area that I had for that wave 3 to the upper side. So for that wave 3 to the upper side, I used the trend-based Fibonacci's here to get that target area. So if I connect the low for the wave 1 to the high of the wave 1, then to the low for the wave 2, that gives us a target area for that wave 3 to the upper side at around the $0.93 mark. That movement played out. We even overshooted that key area of target area to the upper side to around the $1 mark. And once that movement played out, you can see that we have been having a little bit of a retracement to the lower side, which I believe is a wave 4, which is information at the moment. And for that wave 4, we can also try and get target areas for that wave 4 so that we can now start moving to the upper side in a wave 5 to complete that higher count Elliot wave 1. So if I use the Fibonacci to connect the high for the wave 3 to the low to the end of that wave 2, so if I connect the low for that wave 2 down there, connecting to the high for the wave 3, that gives us the minimum retracement for that wave 4 to the lower side, and the target area for that retracement is the area between the fib level 0.618 and the fib level 0.5, and that is between the $0.78 mark and the $0.71 mark. So that is the minimum that we expect this retracement to the lower side to do, and in that movement I expect this wave 4 not to retrace below the $0.612 mark, because once that happens, that will be invalidating the Elliot wave guidelines, because a wave 4 should not overlap the wave 1 high. So we need to retrace to an area that is above that high for that wave 1, and that area is within this yellow target up here, between the $0.78 mark and the $0.71 mark. And in that movement to the lower side, that brings me to the key scenarios that I expect to play out over here. And the very first one is that, so as you can see from this chart, from the moment we made that high up there, the price of Polygon Matic has not been able to make other highs. We have been making higher lows, and that's an indication that the sellers are trying to push the market to the lower side, and soon we might see a continuation of this retracement to the lower side. And in that movement, I expect us to continue retracing and get into this support line down here at around the $0.78 mark. And just in case we lose that key area of support, then that movement would get us into the target area that I've drawn out here on the charts using the Fibonacci's, which is the minimum that I expect that retracement in a wave 4 to do. And once that happens, and maybe we maximize the target area, we can then see a very nice bounce to the upper side, break above this key area of resistance, and then have a successful retest of that support line. And once that happens, we can then continue pushing to the upper side in a wave 5. And once that move plays out, that will be completing a higher count Elliot wave 1. So that's the very first movement that I expect to play out over here. It's also possible that once we were in that retracement to the lower side, we get into that support line. It's possible that we bounce from there and continue pushing to the upper side in the formation of that wave 5. It's still possible that we can retrace from the prices that we are in at the moment, but I don't expect that to play out, because that might be invalidating my Elliot wave count and the Fibonacci's guidelines. So I want to stick to us having a bit of a retracement into that yellow target area before we start seeing a very nice pump to the upper side. If I also take a look at the indicators here on the RSI, we are trading at around the 50 mark, and that would mean we have room for us. Once we continue pushing to the lower side in that retracement, we have room to accommodate that movement. And if in case we get that bounce to the upper side, we also have that room to support that movement to the upper side. On the MACD, we have printed a bearish cross, and that would mean the retracement is not yet complete, and we are going to unlock even lower prices and maximize our yellow target, and then continue pushing to the upper side. So that is the price prediction update on Polygon Matic, and I'll keep you updated on any movement that plays out.